Greetings, Minecrafters! My name is Nate T. Bird, and welcome back to part 2 of my developer commentary for Jump Arena. In this series, I will be trying to explain the thought process behind the different parts of my map, Jump Arena. Now, this is kind of an experiment for me. I don't necessarily know how interesting it will be to explain the thought process or how good of a job I can do explaining my thought process, but hey, maybe it's interesting, maybe it's not. Doesn't hurt to try. So in the last episode, we explained a little bit about the facility and the lobby, and as well as the starting area. So the pre, yeah, sorry, this is the hub, and then we also explained the lobby, which is the waiting area before you enter the game. I also did a little bit more farming off camera to get another coin multiplier that just makes things a little bit easier. And so now in this episode, we're going to be talking about the Stronghold. Stronghold is my favorite map. I really like the idea of having to infiltrate a castle, basically. So there's this fortress, and you have to get inside the fortress. And so that's the basic idea. You start outside, you have a little wall right here, and you have to get over the wall. So, like, if you really wanted to keep your castle safe, you probably should not put trampolines outside of it, but yeah, oh well. This is not necessarily supposed to be realistic. This is just supposed to be fun. So you jump over the first wall, then you can try to jump on trees and whatnot to get through the castle and to infiltrate the fortress. That's the main idea behind this one, and it doesn't really change the parkour that much. It's a little bit more vertical parkour. I do throw in some ladders to make it a little bit more interesting, but it's the way that it feels. It feels like you're infiltrating a castle, and so that's why I like this level so much. I promise I can make this jump. Yep. And right here, I have to talk about this, the tip, shift, hold shift, because I just worried that not many people know that you can hold shift on a ladder. So that's why I put that tip there, just because I want it to be friendly for both novice parkour people, parkour masters, and also for parkour masters. So if you're professional or if you're novice, it doesn't matter. You can still complete this map. And this is totally possible. Come on. There we go. Hearts and musical notes. So by now I should have had a few more secrets found, but that's fine. There's extra secrets and it doesn't matter. But now as a player, if I just found that secret, I'm like, wait, hearts and musical notes? So I step on the hub or checkpoint and then return to the hub. I come over here and I see what they look like, and oh, cool, that's neat. Oh, that's neat as well. And so the player can choose their own particle, their own way, and I really like that part of customization as well as exploration. I talked about that in the last episode. We're gonna do blue. Yes. Return to the hub. Good. Which, yeah, I talked about that. Sorry, in the last episode about exploration and how this map is heavily focused on the exploration part. And so, whoa, I don't think I should have made that. Anyways, so that's now I'm distracted. Yes, this map is heavily focused on exploration, and so I really like the fact that the player can find new things and explore and discover, and overall it's just a very interesting experience. And I'm actually gonna come grab this one because I think this is my favorite, actually. It's really cool. Kind of sinks into the ground and whatnot. So going back to talking about the theme of infiltrating a castle, right here you're kind of jumping around the castle, jumping up the towers. I utilize the trees a lot because, well, trees grow, and so naturally, if you're infiltrating a castle, you could potentially use the trees to your advantage. So right here, I'm going to get this. So I've already said this like 5 times, but I really do enjoy the fact that I have to infiltrate the castle. So right here we go from the ground, clear up to the top of this. This is a much higher wall, and so, I have to go clear up from the ground all the way up to the highest height. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with this right now. So the ladder parkour part can be a little bit tricky. It does add some variation, which is nice, but it's not too difficult. It's just a little bit of a variation. I have to talk about this secret right here. Why is this here? Well, because I wanted the players to have to explore. And if they don't think about looking over there, if they don't think about exploring over there, then they just plain don't get the reward, right? Makes sense. So right here, kind of like, where do I go? It just fell off right there. I think that's the first time I've ever done that. I've never done that before. Yep. And then this one's kind of fun. You go from this wall and you have to jump all the way down to right there. It's kind of, it adds to the feeling of infiltration, of getting past obstacles, and yeah, it's just a very interesting and unique experience. This part right here is probably one of my favorite parts, but also not. Hopefully I'll explain both. So it's my favorite part because of how layered it is. It's like you have to climb practically vertically. You're climbing straight up. That's where your end goal is, right there. So you have to go basically straight up. And so it's kind of an interesting little challenge. It's an interesting idea. It's an interesting course. And so I really like that part about it. Right here, you're just going to jump on the trampoline and grab this one. Bing. Fireworks shop. So as I said in the previous video, wait, I just unlocked a fireworks shop. Now I want to go see what it is. I'm exploring the map as I go. It is a lot of fun. I'm not going to go check it out though because, well, I know exactly what it is. So the reason why this is not my favorite part is right there. Because when I miss a jump, I land here and I'm like, and I have to force myself to fall off. Instead of it automatically falling off for me, I have to force myself to fall off. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm gonna cut when I actually get across this jump. Right as soon as I say I'm gonna cut, then I make it the first time. LOL. So, yep, just vertically climbing. No big deal. Originally, there were no windows in this castle design, and those doors, I added those last because I wanted to make it, I guess, more interesting. Interesting looking, that is. So I added those different details to make the castle seem more like a castle, and I think it did a good job. The walls on the outside are still very plain, but hey, the inside's interesting, and so you're focused on that. Also, these coins at the end, I wanted something to signify that, hey, you've reached the end. And so that's what these coins are for. Also to reward the player, the first player who gets here. If you're playing multiplayer, these coins will only give it to the player who stepped on it. But the sign will give coins to all the players. So this is sort of like the incentive to race your friends to get to the end first. And then this one right here is just rewarding you for completing the level. All right, so the castle. I like it a lot. It's neat. It's got a few cool looking things. I really love stone bricks and castles in general, so you might know that because of what the main building block that I use in all of my maps. But I also really enjoy the idea behind this level, the infiltration, the jumping, the getting over this obstacle, and so that's why this is my favorite map by far. Now let's also talk about the bouncy castle. It's because we unlocked it and I have plenty of time left. So when we jump into the bouncy castle, we fall. For one, I wanted it to be that way because, well, it gets the mood set. You're supposed to be bouncing, you're supposed to be jumping up and flying all over the place. And the idea behind the bonus levels is just to get coins and maybe have some fun. Maybe you don't even care about coins anymore and you just want to bounce around on a trampoline in a bouncy castle. And so that is the idea behind this map. You can reset the coins at any time. It could be a little bit cheaty. Actually, while we were testing it, I had two of my friends. One of them was just standing on the coin and the other was just spamming this reset sign. And it ended up lagging the game just because of the way that I reset. But I guess if that's what you want to do, go for it. It's not going to hinder the map at all. You're still going to have to complete the levels, find the secrets in order to officially beat the game. But if you just want to hurry up and get the coins, then go for it. Yeah, I need to talk about the design of this place a little bit too. So I wanted it to be simple, but I also wanted it to be kind of interesting looking and fun. Originally, there were not trampoline blocks on the top of all of the blocks. It was only on the pathways. So let me explain. These edges right here, they would be stone bricks, and then the pathway right here would be trampolines. But I was having some problems where if the player was over top of the trampoline, but also over top of the slime block, then they would get jump boost from a slime block. It's like from a stone brick, so it's like the stone brick was bouncy. So I had to fix that, but I feel like it made it better in the end anyways. Just because it's fun still and it works. So once again, you kind of have exploration. You don't necessarily know how to get to places. You need to upgrade your trampoline in order to get to this place first off. So your first level of trampoline upgrade will get you here. And then you'll need max trampoline to get up to there. And even still, you can't just jump from right here to get up top there. You have to jump from the wall to get to there. So I'm going to farm up a few more coins here, and then I will be back when I'm done. So I went ahead and farmed for a little while, and I got maxed multiplier. So now I get 5 coins for every fail and 25 coins for every coin block. Then I also have a few more things that I can do. First off, I'm going to go ahead and unlock the desert. And then because I just unlocked the desert, maybe I should upgrade that. We'll do jump boost and multi-jump and also speed. So now we have a whole lot of upgrades and we should be ready for the next level. But yeah, that's it for this episode. So let me once again just explain the thought process behind the bouncy castle. It's just supposed to be fun. I would have done colorful, but yeah, I didn't want to take the time to build something like that. So this is sort of supposed to be themed after one of those kids' toys. So I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's like a big inflatable castle that's just made out of rubber, and it's like a balloon. So, but then kids can jump in it and they bounce around in it. So I think it's called a bouncy castle. And that's what this is supposed to be a representation of, or sort of themed after, is just a bouncy castle. So maybe when you heard bouncy castle, you're expecting that colorful thing, but instead you get a sort of castle that's bouncy. The idea behind it is farming coins and having fun. So it's the basics behind the bouncy castle, and I think it's kind of fun. It's kind of neat. I just wanted some sort of a variation to the normal parkour. And then for the Stronghold, the idea here is that you're infiltrating something. So there's a lot of vertical and then horizontal jumps. There's also ladder parkour, so just to make it more interesting. Overall, I think the levels are fairly varied, and I'm happy with that. I did try to make them varied, in that the jumps aren't all the same. You have to have a little bit of different knowledge or skill for some of the different jumps. But overall, I think it's good. And as I said, this is my favorite map. So, thank you very much for watching, and have a fantastic day. Well, great. I just got the first mile achievement. Means I've traveled a mile on foot. Awesome.